EC3, he has like his own territory he just started or some shit, and they're about to start running shows in territories all over again, and they said they're getting like some serious like interest from different people in all these different territories, and
He said he
I
was doing
think
like
it'll
a
be.
top 20
Did this
network. He just
did
said he
this
did
like did this like just break or something?
It
today.
was on Busted Open. I heard him say it. I don't know where else they were mentioning it, but I think
Yeah.
it's pretty dope that they're going back to the territory model because, shit, bro, that company needs something.
Hey, little juice. We live. We up. We live. We up. We live. We
That's
up. We
it.
live.
We might
Ryan
as
on
well if we're up.
assignment.
We might as well warn the people if we're here. They need to know what they're getting into.
Nah,
Gang, gang.
we can vibe. We in the ringside lounge tonight.
All right,
This ain't
word.
even the club. It's the ringside lounge. You
All
heard?
right, word.
What's good, fellas? What's good?
Yeah,
What's
Chad
good? What's
looked like he
good?
just came back from the hair spot.
Young Law with the
Yeah,
fresh.
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah, man. Got the fresh braids going on, man.
Yeah, man.
Feeling good, fellas. Yeah, man. It's another night sipping on a rosé.
Hey,
I'm ready.
salute to you. I got
I'm
a
ready
little
to.
Cabernet action. Only built for crushed grapes tonight. You heard?
Card
Yeah,
blade,
man.
card blade back there, ready to go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Bang bang gang. Pause.
Nah, it's bang bang is the gang gang. You heard?
Yo,
It's
Shaka,
gang
Shaka
gang
Ron,
bang.
Shaka
What
Ron
Renee
on
say? Gang
assignment.
gang bang. She wilded out. She said gang gang bang. That was crazy.
Who said that?
Renee
Renee,
on
Paquette.
Dynamite.
Oh, nah, she's wilding.
She was wilding.
She was out of her mind on that one. But yo,
She's
honestly,
on her Adam 22.
this has been a
Yikes.
fucking. It's been a hell of a week, man. I've been ready to talk, man. Ready to say some
Yeah,
shit, man. We got some shit to talk about tonight, fellas. It's going down.
We sure do.
absolutely. All right, you want to hit them with the disclaim? I'm gonna hit the
Fuck it.
disclaimer, and then I'm gonna run into whatever room my phone is in, so I can grab my phone. So
Do
yeah,
it.
man, it's the Ringside Club. We're live on Twitter, live on YouTube. What's
Yeah.
happening? This is a disclaimer. We're not journalists. We're not reporters. We're not insiders. We don't work with or for any pro wrestling companies. We're not pro wrestlers, nor have we ever been. We are not backstage at pro wrestling shows, nor are we getting any dirt from anybody backstage at pro wrestling shows. We watch pro wrestling shows, and then we talk about them, because we're pro wrestling fans. And chances are, if you're watching or listening to this show, so are you. And by the way, Tony doesn't know you. Vince doesn't know you. Hunter doesn't know you. Hunter's name isn't even Hunter. It's fucking Paul. Get a grip. Watch your mouth. This is the Ringside Club.
Yo, this is Cartier A. Williams coming live with the Ringside Club survey question for the day. The question: do we think we will get another character like a Bray Wyatt, a Undertaker, or Kane in the next 3 months?
Solid question. Cartier Williams, what up to you, boy? Do we get another Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, or Kane character in the next 3 months? I'm not sure. That might be a good, like, maybe Royal Rumble type of debut if we do get a person, but I do know or do believe that Danhausen is coming back, so even if we don't necessarily get a character of that ilk, we're going to get at least comedy spooky in the next couple of months. So yeah.
Respect. Me, I don't know. I don't think we'll ever get another Undertaker, another Kane. I think what Cartier was probably asking was if we're gonna get like another, like you mentioned, yeah, kind of like a spooky, otherworldly, some kind of transient being in wrestling. And I think if we get Malachi Black to pop out again in like a singles run, he could kind of fulfill that role a little bit. But new people, I don't really see it. I don't know anybody on the indies or anybody that hasn't really debuted or anyone that's really due for a character change to rock with that. What do you think, Chad?
The closest thing we're probably gonna get is Julia Hart's new faction that I think is gonna be pretty dope moving
Yo, I love
forward.
Julia Hart, man. Shout out
If-
to I don't know if Cornette did it to me, but Julia Hart is pretty fire, yo.
Big if they get this right, this faction could be what AEW's women's division needs, and that's Julia Hart, Willow, who else is there? Sky Blue, and interchangeable.
Whoever she missed next.
Yeah, whoever she missed next. So that's my take on it.
Yo, listen, before we get into this shit, shout out to Westside Gun, bro. New album today. Fire, fire, fire. Then you pray for me. Without further ado, let's start this shit.
Peace to the gods, the ringside club hard. My name is A.O. Say you're around the dawn. Blame Boogie while you at it, blame Chad Law. K-Fave is dead, break the fourth wall. Whatever style, whether it's lucha or strong style. Come through the beam, you fly, burn the ball down. Back to the pad, chop it up for the par. Ringside club, intro to the squad as the show starts. Peace, space. Peace to the gods, of course. Peace to the earths. Peace to you and yours, wherever you happen to be. Chopping it up with us live on Twitter, live on, what are we on? YouTube, Twitter, things of that nature, X, whatever you want to call it, Y. We're live on Z as well. It's the mightiest of the mighty. Special Friday edition of the RSC, the Ringside Club. The God, the champ himself, Ron, is on assignment. Peace to that man.
Shaka.
We here. Yeah, three-man
Jovi.
boothing it up. Ron. Peace to Ron Jeremy, too, man.
Yeah,
Ron Jeremy's a nasty nigga. I don't know if we should be piecing him. That nigga a hornball.
Ron
Chad,
Jeremy,
peace to
peaced
me.
up.
Peace actually to Dubs Gardens, my boy Kaz out on the West Coast. I'm smoking live resin right now. I probably shouldn't be, but I am. And shouts out to everybody who's doing the same.
Gang.
Friday activities, man.
I'm gonna just keep dropping names this whole episode, guys. You're gonna have to pick these names.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's Friday, man. We only built for cross graves. I'm about according to the bottle. I'm 3/4 through this bottle. I mean, a little cap.
I'm right there with you with the rosé, King. Right there with you.
There you go.
I'm hyped right now. I can't even.
We got to hold it by the stem, and we got to hold it by the stem, guys. You know what I mean? Like, just there you go. Peace to everybody out there, man. It's Friday. It's the RSC. It's the Ringside Club. We definitely don't care today. This is chill. This is the Ringside Lounge. I mean, so
fam, I'm hyped right now, bro.
I'm
hyped right now, son. I just watched SmackDown.
Yo, right? Hold up. The National Treasure.
I'm hyped right now,
the National Treasure, fam.
He's here. He's fucking here, man. Let's go.
You know Chad gonna definitely be more excited than us about somebody coming from the NWA to the WWE. It's just, he's probably got literally, I'm not pausing. You guys could do what you got. He's probably got chills right now.
Yo, bro, I watched this promo and I'm like, dude, the National Treasure is here. Like, this is really happening right now. Like, finally. I'm a Nick Aldis guy. Y'all already know this. You know what I'm saying? And he's finally here. I think this is a great start to his WWE career. I don't think he's done. If you look at the age of everybody else that's going on around him, I think this is a fucking genius way to bring him into the WWE and get his in-ring career going.
A part 2 to our intro survey. How long does it take for Nick Aldis to put his boots on, bro? You know it's gonna happen.
Yo, he will definitely be a Rumble entry.
100%,
he'll be a Rumble entry. What I think is going to happen between now and the Rumble is it's like we know he's not going to win the Rumble, right? So it's going to be some kind of beef that he has with somebody on SmackDown, testing his authority. You know what? I'm gonna fuck it up for you, and he's going to enter the Rumble as the authority figure. That's going to be the pop. And whoever it is over the top,
just
bro.
Give me him and Gunther for his first battle, and I'm good to go, yo. That's all I.
Nick Aldis and Gunther.
Nick Aldis is gonna have a WrestleMania moment, that's for sure, and I'm excited to see that.
Listen, there's a lot of guys that are younger than Nick Aldis. Older than Nick Aldis. That are up right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nick Aldis has a lot more gas in that tank, unless he has like a fucking injury that we don't know.
Yeah. You know, man's just wrestled.
Was right too. This shit might be too strong, but you know, it is what it is.
You already know.
Your man Bug about to start bleeding.
I'm here now.
No, the fucking
about to start bleeding.
Nah.
The Impact team wasted no time with the videos going up. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Letting them
word.
know that yo, shout out to the Impact social media team, son. Impact
Best in the
Wrestling
business.
will
Best
let
in
you
the
know
business.
that your favorite wrestler came through those doors just
At
as
some
recently
point,
as June 2023. They were
man,
here.
be like, yo, they had a tryout match in 1999. Before we
Yo.
opened the doors, we got the footage.
Hey man,
Yeah,
just to
we're gonna
have
get
the
a Dolph
awareness.
Ziggler. It's gonna be a Dolph Ziggler video of him in TNA from like
We
2000.
never knew.
But just to have them be aware though, they're capitalizing off the internet, activity, the energy that floats around out there. It's smart business. I respect it.
Best team in the business.
Nah, they are killing it. Impact social
Yo,
media team goes crazy.
There's
man.
a reason that people have been calling for Impact to die for like the last 15
Yo,
years.
I hate it. I
And
hate
they're
Yo,
it.
still
Chad,
up.
Chad, you said if you got a promotion at your job, they would somehow find footage of you pan to you in the crowd and be like, "Yo, he was here this episode."
Yeah. That's literally
Yo,
what
shouts out to
Impact would
Chad for
do.
his promotion at his job.
That's what
Fire.
Impact would do. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited. The National Treasure is in. He's officially changed his name on Twitter to General Manager of WWE SmackDown. So no time wasted. I already saw
Solid.
it. That was not his
Solid.
profile just a little while ago. So he's active. You know what I'm saying? This is dope.
Yo, shouts
Very
out
good
to
to
Mickey
see.
James. It's a cool little family right there, man. Let them do their
Very
thing.
good
I don't know
time.
about hardcore
Solid.
country, but
Hardcore country.
that
All
should
right.
be Chad's. That should be Chad's entrance music.
That's a
from now on. Let's
nasty,
make it
nasty entrance. Nasty entrance.
Next
But
week.
Listen,
sidebar.
I have nothing loaded up as far as sound, so fuck it. He's Chad, he's Boog, I'm AO. What up?
And this is the hardcore country edition of Ringside Club. Yeah,
100%.
that's nasty. But do we think Mickey James comes back to the E
Why not?
after this?
Probably not. I don't think so.
I could see
I
her in
don't
the
think
Rumble
so.
again.
Yeah, maybe like I guess maybe like a little Rumble special edition. I thought the last time that she was in was like the super special edition. She's not supposed to be here type of vibe.
Right.
So maybe they could definitely do it again, but I don't see why they would. You know,
I think she's done all she can in Impact
Right.
at this point, and her match with Trinity at Bound for Glory is going to actually accentuate
what day
that.
is
which-
Bound for Glory? Is that today or tomorrow?
That's it.
or-
No, I'll tell you right now. Impact
Impact
Bound
usually
for
does their
Glory.
shits on Saturdays, no?
October
Third-
20, I want to say it is. Here we go. Impact Bound for Glory. That card is really good, by the way. I can't front.
look fire.
Like,
It looks fire.
I tweeted that earlier today, and like, don't sleep, guys. That card is like,
Yeah.
you got Will Ospreay coming through. Like, you already
Yo,
know it's
while-
gonna be a banger.
While you're looking that up, and speaking of Will Ospreay, this weekend there's a Rev Pro / New Japan card. Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. for the New Japan UK Championship. It's like tomorrow. Fire. These are two guys that are in contention for Wrestler of the Year / Matches of the Year. I'm watching that shit.
That's gonna be mean.
right
October
now-
21st.
October 21st. So that's next
is-
Now you
Saturday.
mean the remix belt,
That's
the belt
Saturday.
that he just like turned into.
Yeah,
the
it was
UK
the New
belt.
Japan
Peak game.
US. Now it's the UK.
So he's not from the US.
So the belt that Chad has, just they switched it to the Union Jack.
Yes.
All right. Yo, my boy JB Toys made that belt. Same dude that I'm gonna get to make our
Word.
RSC belts. He
Yo,
makes,
we need that.
He made like the
Fire.
Marty Skrull belts when he had the Villain Enterprises shit. He makes a
Marty
bunch of shit,
Skrull.
so-
This is the second time we've ever had a Marty Skrull reference on the Ringside Club in 57 episodes. Wow,
Yo,
that
shout out
guy's
to
a
him,
bro.
forgotten story. What a
He-
forgotten
he-
story that is.
Here's a little Snapple fact, man. The fourth member of this pod, your man Ron, current reigning champion. He copped me the Marty Skrull umbrella. Like a
Do you
good
still
minute
use it?
ago.
You still use it?
After it went down, I had to put that outside.
It's an umbrella, bro.
After it went down.
It's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
umbrella.
no,
It's
say.
an umbrella.
Yeah, no
You know
doubt.
what I mean?
Yeah, but
Titanic?
also his name was
Word.
on that shit. So nah.
Nah, word.
Real quick, I'll run down the Bound for Glory card.
Word up.
World Heavyweight Championship. Alex Shelley defending against Josh Alexander. That's going to be a really good match. And the rebirth
Yeah.
of Josh Alexander.
You could skip
think he
right to the
takes that
Trinity
match?
match. Who's Trinity fighting?
Hold on, keep going. Will Ospreay,
Nah,
Mike Bailey. Will Ospreay, Mike Bailey. I feel like once AO saw that, he was like, "I'm copping the pay per view." You know what I'm saying? He was like,
Yo, even
you're
yo,
a Mike
no
Bailey.
lie,
guy.
no
you're
front.
a Mike. You made me convinced. Like I'm finally like, all right, I see Mike Bailey. Like he's.
You know what it is? I
He's better
don't
now.
like wrestlers without shoes.
Yeah, it's very awkward.
But-
that's why my
but-
gripe with Riddle was always there. But I understood Riddle's
going all the way back to the head shrinkers. Like it just bothers me. It's like, bro, why, like put something on. You know what I mean? But
it's gotta hurt.
Mike
Shouts
Bailey's
out to
kind of
Joey
fire.
from the pizza shop. You know what I'm saying? He's a big Mike Bailey fan. Every time I go pick up pizza, he's like, I got this local event I'm going to. Mike Bailey's fighting. It's like I feel like this guy.
Mike Bailey
Mike
is
Bailey
like,
He said, yo, we need to have Joe on the fucking pod, guy.
matter of
Joe
fact, we
is
need to
the
have Mike
guy.
Bailey. Mike Bailey need to come on the podcast. Mike Bailey is doing appearances everywhere. Mike Bailey is like the graph of like independent wrestling. Like he
He's
is
on his run right now. I
everywhere.
feel like
That's
he's literally
fire.
everywhere. I've seen him on like every
Mike
every
Bailey
single
is
promotion's
on
flyer.
every card. So him and Will Ospreay are going to be a banger. I think we know who's going to win that one, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Chris Sabin versus Kenta for the X Division Championship. That's going to be a banger right there. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be heat. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenta picks up the W there because Chris Sabin is forever the X Division champion all the time, so he can afford a loss. Trinity and Mickey James for the Impact Knockouts Championship. That's going to be a dope one. Trinity's having a hell of a reign. I kind of don't want her to leave Impact, yo. It sounds mad selfish, but I have a feeling that she's going to get out of Impact soon. I think her deal will probably be one of those,
It's probably like a year deal. And she's probably like at least more than halfway done with that shit by now, right?
Yes.
So she's about to be number 27 at the Royal Rumble.
I don't think she goes back. I don't think she goes back. I think like the whole point in her going to Impact was to like get her name up. So that way, by the time her and Mercedes do their little tag run or their crew run, it doesn't look like a sidekick. It looks like somebody who was definitely a world champ for a minute.
I like that.
And has some weight under their name. You know what I mean? I don't think either of them go back until it's like Hall of Fame time.
Do you think that Trinity goes to AEW if she doesn't stay with Impact? Do you think that she stays with Impact and just rides it out on some Deonna Purrazzo shit?
I can see
And
her
waves
put
the
it this way.
Impact flag.
Put it this way, I can see her having a longer run in Impact than we probably initially thought. Like she probably has this year run. I wouldn't be surprised if she re-ups for like another year. You know what I mean? Everything I see looks like she's having a ball.
She looks
I
like
can
she's
also-
having a blast there.
Yeah.
And she's very happy.
I think Trinity's also been around the business long enough to understand that AEW has to really do something different with their women's division and actually take it serious and make it a priority before I sign a deal there. Because she
She would
doesn't
get
need
lost in
bread.
the shuffle.
If
She don't
give
need
me
the bread.
Trinity
Everybody gets
versus
lost in
Athena,
the shuffle there.
If we got Trinity versus Athena, I might
It would be
buy
fire.
that match.
But
you know?
but that's
No,
like
one
way too
1,000%. No, but
that's
the thing
too
about
good of a
this-
match to be on YouTube.
Right.
No, or Honor Club. You feel me? Like
That's
it's
what I'm
too-
saying.
it's too dope of a match. Like think about how ill Athena is. If you ask anybody that's in the know about Athena, says that she's in your top whatever for this year, and she hasn't been on an AEW pay-per-view outside of the buy-in on a mixed tag. She's only been on that shit like maybe once or twice, and she hasn't been on their actual proper TV ever this year or in anything meaningful ever. So why would Trinity sign, or why, you know what I mean? Like, I think like if Mercedes does a deal, it might be for an appearance type of thing, or when she comes in and she does a deal, it's like with the understanding that this is now a fucking priority. Otherwise, I'm out of here because I don't need your bread. So if Trinity goes, it's going to be along those same lines. It's like my homie was already here. You already know what time it is, or we outside. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Forbidden door
matter.
shit. I think it's forbidden door shit. The way Tony Khan usually runs
it might
it.
be a one-off. It might be one-offs. Like we do these special occasion matches.
Like how Will Ospreay currently has his shit set up. I think that's how Trinity and Mercedes will make their rounds around AEW if it comes to that. I don't feel like I need to see them every week because then it's going to get to a point where we're going to be on this show every week talking about, wow, we didn't even see Mercedes for more than 30 seconds. Yo, Trinity lost to fucking Sky Blue, who's heel now and never picks up a victory. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, there's a lot of things that I feel like would happen if we saw Trinity in AEW. So I think she should wave that Impact flag just a little bit longer right now. She looks like she's having a blast. She's having great matches. And the Knockouts division is literally one of the best
Solid.
divisions in all of wrestling. Off top. You can turn to Impact and watch the Knockouts division. But I'll keep going. Rascals defending the Impact tag titles versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay. That should be really good too.
Rascals against Ace. Yeah, that should be fire.
That should be good.
Yeah.
Women's Impact Knockout tag titles. Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich versus Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz. Another sleeper match that's going to be really good. A Monsters Ball, the Impact tradition. PCO versus Rhino versus Steve Macklin versus Moose. Moose also has the Call Your Shot briefcase for the World Heavyweight title. So at any time, he can call his shot and cash in. And honestly, if that happens with Josh Alexander, like after he could potentially beat Alex Shelley, I think that is a hell of a fucking story. Like, yo, Impact is major kudos if Moose beats Josh Alexander again in 10 seconds and wins the world title after he just won the world title at Bound for Glory. I think that's a little reach, but that's really fucking good if you pay attention to Impact. Like, that is really fucking dope. And the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, 20-person intergender Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Winner receives a trophy and a contract they can invoke anytime within 1 year for a championship match of their choosing. Jake Something, Dirty Dongo, Eric Young, Jordan Grace, Brian Myers, Shira, Bully Ray, etc., etc., etc. And that's the Bound for Glory card. Those that's tapped into Impact. I'll be watching though. I'm watching. Enjoy it. I'm watching.
Definitely watching it.
I'm watching. That card is actually like heat. I'll watch that.
Yeah,
so,
there's some good wrestling. There's some good wrestling popping up.
If it's on the I might watch it. But I ain't gonna pay for it personally because I'm not that invested. But if I was,
all right. Sure. Well, let's get to our NWA Power recap of the week.
Nah. Yo, I'll run down what's happening. So,
all right.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Tomorrow at 4:30, it looks like London time. So whatever that time is over here, Royal Quest 3, which is Rev Pro, Revolution Pro Wrestling, and New Japan. I'll just run down some of the appearances. Obviously, we know the main event is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay for that New Japan UK championship.
Okay.
We got Trent Seven to be on the card. We have, this is basically a New Japan card over in England. You know what I mean? Clark Connors will be there. Phantasmo, Tonga Loa. Congrats to Tonga. I think he just had a baby. So congrats to him.
Congrats to that, Ken.
David Finley will be there. Who else is on here? Sonata is going to be there. Bushi's going to be there. Eddie Kingston is going to be there in a 3-man tag. Jeff Cobb is on the other side. TJP is there. Michael Oku is going to be there. Ishii versus Takagi. I saw somebody throw a stat up. This is the first time that they're having this match outside of Japan. Ishii versus Takagi. But yeah, like the entire reason why I'm going to be buying this 60-minute time limit IWGP UK Championship, Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. Like,
that's a match.
You're probably not gonna get a. If you've seen any of the matches that Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay have had in the past, which I've watched a ton of them shits, the clash of styles are so fire because we know like Ospreay's jumping off of everything, and Sabre is trying to catch you in anything. So that clash of styles is gonna be fire. So I'm tapping into that. And before we talk about whatever's going on the mainstream, right now SmackDown, I guess, just went off or is on or whatever the case is. But I got House of Glory on. They're running about 15 minutes away from the crib right now. But
nice.
Mike Santana is wrestling tonight. I believe
he's definitely going to win. There's no question.
Yeah, like this. But this is like home turf. Like Ron and I used to go to these House of Glory shows all the time when it was an LAX vibe, and they were main events as a tag team with or without championships. So Mike Santana is popping up, and there's a lot of good shit going on in House of Glory. Peace to Ken Bro and shit like that. But
you got to tap into Rampage. Let's tap into Rampage at some point and catch up on this Ortiz and Santana feud. That's what that shit seems to be living.
Yo, Ortiz and Santana. I mean, we'll talk about whatever's going on in the AEW and WWE world, but like that's probably like on mainstream TV right now is like one of my favorite little feuds, and I really hope or wish that they would get a little bit more mainstream attention, because like anytime you can build a feud off of some like legit, like I really don't fuck with you outside, and then put it on camera, that's money. That's fucking money.
And they just know each other so well. It's almost like, Penta and
right.
Ray Phoenix fighting each other. It's like,
right.
who knows you better than your brother, so right. Fuck it.
You heard?
Chad, you got the wheel. What's good?
Well, this Impact. Well, I just wanted the whole Impact tirade. No NWA, right? Y'all good on NWA?
No, we
talk about.
Hold off on that.
They may or may not have a TV deal. Other than that,
they got regions happening. You know what I'm saying? The territories and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what's going on.
That's cool. Let me see something though.
Let me know. You know what I mean? EC3, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, 10 pounds of gold. Speaking of 10 pounds of gold, Nick Aldis is on SmackDown. You know what I mean? That's fire. Um, this past week, fellas, what a week in wrestling it's been. It felt crazy like not having wrestling on Wednesday, not having Dynamite on Wednesday for a
Really
change.
felt strange. Really
It
did.
did.
I was like, wow, I feel like I should be watching something right now. Like, or like making an effort to like catch up on something right now.
I strangely
And
feel like it impacted our schedule this week too. It's like why that's why we're also recording on a Friday. Like
Yeah,
everything's just
it
off.
was very off kilter this week.
as crazy as
Yeah.
it was, I actually feel like I could do more of these Tuesday shows because I feel like I caught up on everything all at once and I'm able to gather my thoughts all together because I had time to sit on both shows, pause, and actually like take them in, pause, and understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what it did for me. If we want to get in, this is a great segue. I feel like, and I'm sorry to take this over or whatever, but
You good?
getting into the AEW versus NXT Tuesday, what it did for me, a person who really otherwise doesn't watch NXT, and it's not because I don't like it or I don't care about it. It's that I don't have the bandwidth to watch wrestling 7 days a week. I just can't do it. I work too much for that.
NXT
So
falls to the wayside in a lot of people's lives when it comes to the
So,
schedule of wrestling right now, which
to
is
me,
unfortunate, but yeah.
if it's a question of who won, I feel like to me, for me, NXT won because I was watching AEW live. I always watch AEW live. It's nothing new. But what it had me do was pay attention to what was going on in NXT because I never would give a shit. Like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be checking in on that at the same time. I wouldn't have the multitask in me to do that. So, and then obviously they don't run the same night anyway. So Tuesday I wouldn't be really watching that. Tuesday nights I'm
Hmm.
usually working doing other stuff. But it wasn't the big names that drew me there. It wasn't Cody. It wasn't Asuka. It wasn't LA Knight. It wasn't any of the other stuff. It wasn't Cena. It was just the fact that there was this spectacle
Dominic
around.
Mysterio.
No, it was just the head to head. I think it was the head to head that made
Pause.
me
Yeah, I feel that.
pay
I feel
attention to
that.
it and just be like, all right, so there's something really going on here. So as much as I said that I don't have the bandwidth to watch both, I think the energy that was surrounded around the matchup is what made me really care about it. So yeah, I tuned into AEW, so they win. They keep me as a viewer regardless. But I
Yo, but
actually
that's the
cared
thing.
about another product. So yeah,
Are you going to tune into NXT next week?
maybe not, probably not.
Yeah, I said maybe not. Probably not.
So that's the thing. Like my opinion in a very like top level, I very macro is like this didn't do anything for NXT's roster. This
No,
didn't do
not at
anything
all.
to
Not a
bring
single
new
fucking
viewers
thing.
in. Yeah, this didn't do anything to bring new viewers into NXT. Like your book, like you're, and me too. Like the last maybe, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks prior, I've tried to make an effort to watch NXT just to know what's going on, but nothing about what just happened is going to bring new viewers in. All this was we've seen the 1,000th episode of Raw. We've seen the 25th anniversary of Raw. If y'all remember back when Raw would get preempted on a Monday and have to swap to a Tuesday, this is Tuesday, Raw Tuesday by NXT. That's all this was. You brought The Undertaker back, who has nothing to do with NXT. Same with Cena. LA Knight has had 2 gimmick changes since he's left NXT and then came back only because he was hot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all this was a viewership grab for the week. And the best way to understand that shit is in the last slot, the main event slot. You have Braun Breaker, who's supposed to be one of your NXT pillars right now. And Undertaker comes out. He's a retired Hall of Famer, and he duffs him out.
Yep.
That doesn't do him any service. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
there's nothing that he can actually build on. You're not going to come back out next week and challenge the Undertaker to a match. You're not going to
Right.
point at the WrestleMania sign. So, this was literally just like corporate bullshit that definitely made it exciting for us. Like, yeah, something's going on a Tuesday. But at the end of the day, like, if this didn't, like, increase the viewers or interest, then
I will say one thing's for sure with wrestling, and it's something that we all kind of strive for, and maybe it's the reason why we tune in every week because we're hoping for it. And I think the genius of it all is the fact that sometimes it won't make sense. So it's like as much as we want it to make sense, we're like riding that high almost of wanting it to make sense. So we're like always at the edge of our seats waiting for it to like kind of fold in or tie into the fold and like kind of just show itself for how this makes sense to what's been going on, and sometimes it just doesn't. So I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really make sense to me to bring in all these A-listers, so to speak.
It's WWE shit. They do that shit all the time. Like they're always gonna bring the Hall of Famer in to squash whoever's popping right now, just because more people were watching during the Attitude Era. That's all that shit was.
Now, if they brought in people that actually built up storylines that could lead to a War Games Survivor Series situation all over again, I would have been more like, all right, this is cool. I could buy into this. But I don't think that would have brought the ratings up like this did. So obviously that wasn't the play. You know what I mean? I'm not the person that's making decisions. I can only comment on what I saw. And I will.
This was WWE just putting their dick on the table. Pause.
It felt like Raw for a New Japan crowd, to be honest with you, because I feel like the Performance Center is so small that you like even Cena's like his entrance is so like electric, but when he came out, it was like almost like we were back in the pandemic era and we're back in like what the hell was the name of that shit? The Thunderdome or whatever it was. Like, yeah, like that.
Piece of the Thunderdome. That shit was kind of
as an NXT guy, and I know Ron was here. You know what I'm saying? Him and I are the RSC NXT Tag Team Champions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Of the world.
Peace to the God.
Correct.
I'm sure he would feel that like it was a regular NXT show, and then you just sprinkle in the A-listers, and then like Boog, you're not going to be tuned in next week. Ayo, you might care, and now you take away the A-listers, and you're just going to be like, who the hell is Lola Vice? Who is Charlie Dempsey, and who are these guys? You know what I'm saying? What is going on here? I enjoyed the show, but I did feel like this is the money grab episode, and I had to just chalk it up to it because it's like there's nothing else. Like, if you look at the card, like, we'll run it down. Cody with the major announcement if he's a general manager. And he had
Who cares? Yeah, he's not the general manager next week.
He's competing with AEW, so, you know, there's that tongue-in-cheek shit. There we go with that. Asuka is remaining undefeated in NXT, which I think is dope if they continue that.
They should just let Jim Russo book NXT and have, like, Jim Cornette versus JD McDonough on like, you know, next week.
Right. Yeah, but like again, Asuka's undefeated in NXT, but when is the next time she's going to be on NXT?
You know what? At this point, if she's just going to get lost in the shuffle on SmackDown, send her back to NXT for a little while and let her feud with Becky.
Yo, sure, I get it, but now, look, see what you just said. You're talking about Becky, who is like top 10 in the entire company right now, right? And then Asuka, who's already established. This is supposed to be the developmental brand, no? What does this say about what you're trying to do for the brand? You know what I mean? Like
keeping it busy and keeping some eyes on it so you want to care. So someone like Boog, who doesn't really tap in, could be like, oh, shit, Becky and Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship, like on Tuesday night? I might have to check into that 100%. Shit.
I agree, but that just like kind of defeats the purpose of like the 2.0 rebrand.
I think
it's back to like black and gold.
I think it's
what I fucked with.
I think it's 3.0 now. I don't think they're 2.0. I think they've upgraded and actually like gotten a little better.
Lexus King.
Yeah, like we got Lexus King coming. Come on,
yo,
man.
you want to know what's fire?
Ridiculous.
You want to know what's fire? Peace to all my fellow bald human beings out there. I never thought there would be a time where Brian Pillman's son would have a better lineup than me.
Yo, his
Peace
shit
to Brian
is like,
Pillman Jr.
His shit is DJ Envy level. DJ Envy level of shit. So.
What's the white version of Beijing? What is that?
Minnesota?
Do we call it like Minnesota? He got the Minnesota. He got
son definitely had a hookah. He had a hookah when he did that promo. He had a hookah in his hand when he cut that promo.
His beard was trash. His beard lineup was trash, but the actual
crazy.
headline trial that was kind of fire.
He had to wash away.
Like After Effects. I was about to hit up my boy and be like, "Yo, how you do that?"
yo,
everything.
What button you push for that guy?
Yo,
that was crazy,
was that, dog?
Everything from Dark Elevation and Dark had to get erased. So like it was mandatory that this is happening. So like I'm cool with that.
Yo, the thing with Brian Pillman before you go, Chad, is like the ill shit now is you can't get a better setup than that. Like we already know who you are, and now we know the backstory of you don't want to just rely on your father's legacy and you want to move forward, and you got to fly a fucking sharp ass lineup. Now you got to deliver something. You know what I'm saying? We got the
Yeah, you're
backstory.
right.
You
You're
gotta
right.
deliver something, B.
You're right. You're right. And I think he's gonna have a hell of a year. If you
I think
ask
we're
me,
going to see
man.
the Jade Cargill run. He's going to get a jetpack put to him too. I don't think they just do all that for no
He will be
reason.
NXT. He will be holding the NXT World Heavyweight Championship like this,
Or the North American
like
Championship.
I
9
give him
months from
North
now. He's
American.
gonna be. He's. I don't know. I think he'll be
I
the
give him
world
North
champion,
American.
bruh. We'll get to. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Roxanne Perez is lost in the shuffle, but that women's division in NXT is so stacked and developed that, like, honestly, it's cool. Roxanne will live. She'll be all right. She'll flourish there for another year. Pub Rules 6-man tag. Brawling Brutes, Butch and Rich Holland and Tyler Bate defeated Gallus. They are spinning the fucking wheels with Tyler Bate. That boy is stuck in NXT purgatory right now, and I don't know what else to do other than just put a title on him at this point.
You know what scares me about Tyler Bate is, on a technical level, nice as hell, but I honestly think in WWE it could be an issue of like height. And I think that's the same thing that like Carmelo Hayes might have an issue in the future.
But
with.
Melo's black, so like he's got a different type of, you know what I mean? He can slide
No,
with
no,
that.
no. Nah.
He
No,
can pull
but
the
he
black
can't,
card
though.
on that one.
Nah, but just think about how many like under, I don't know, 5'11", 5'10", 5'9" guys have ever been main eventers.
You think they're going to flash funk him, bro?
I don't think. I think he's gonna be Intercontinental U.S.
Yo, has
is the
Cedric
ceiling.
Alexander ever been the NXT World Heavyweight Champion before?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the ceiling.
But has Cedric Alexander been the World Heavyweight Champion before?
What is that?
Cedric Alexander also can't cut a promo.
Okay, but he's never held a World Heavyweight Championship before, and he's just about the same size and stature as Melo. So I think he'll be all right. I think Melo could survive in the Triple H regime. I think he'll do better than Johnny Gargano. I think that's for sure.
All right, here's an interesting question: Who has
Bug, you
nah.
Bug, you listen to the drive-through. You know exactly how to. He could go to go to AEW, and that would not be any better. Like that would be a downgrade.
As soon as you said Johnny, I thought you were about to say what I thought you were going to say after that. So I almost died laughing. But
He
yeah.
could go to AEW, and that's not a good thing.
Who has a higher ceiling, Tyler Bate or Carmelo Hayes?
Carmelo Hayes. He's black. Come on, man.
On
Black
the
wrestlers.
main roster.
Black wrestlers, bro. Come on.
I know
Black
what
man
we
muscle.
want to happen.
Black
I'm
man
just
muscle.
saying. Okay.
Black man
one
muscle.
band, one sound. One band, one sound.
Black man muscle, King.
On we go.
The Brawling Brutes are going to be stuck in NXT for a while, apparently, while Sheamus is recovering from whatever he's recovering from. I guess that's cool. Tag division could use it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have Gallus there for a while. Paul Heyman and Ava Raine. I think that's going to be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a nice little mix and bloodline. You know, blood in the water type of thing. I think that'll really be really intriguing if she ends up siding with the bloodline to lure the Rock out and, you know, all that hypothesis shit. But we'll table that. But I like that. That caught my eye and I appreciated that. I think that was
the
dope.
most
Made me
interesting
think.
thing.
It made me think like,
Yeah.
that would be kind of dope actually.
That was the most interesting thing for me that came out of NXT this past Tuesday.
Very, very needed because Joe Gacy was going nowhere fast with the Schism.
Leave him alone, bro. Let him live.
Yo, you know what I'm saying?
Schism is a nasty ass name, bro. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's a wild name. Terrible faction. Got over nowhere. They will be remembered like Kai and Tai, but not in the funny way.
Yeah, okay.
They are bad. Well, the Grizzled Young Veterans are free agents now, so they'll probably end up in Impact or on AEW Rampage. You know what I'm saying? The next like 6 months or so. Yeah, it worked out for the other guys for Subculture. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why we didn't formalize this as a segment, but like, who's your next X Division champion? Like, who do you predict to be?
I think it's Kenta. I think Kenta will be next. I think Kenta was going to be Chris Sabin at Bound for Glory. Honestly, Kenta comes to Impact and either like loses a lot or like just kind of like shows
I
up.
meant, like,
so like
wrong answers only.
wrong answers only.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, okay, no doubt.
He's there to show the world.
That would have been my answer too. Nick Nemeth. What's Nick Nemeth doing in the Impact Zone?
Yeah, well,
What's Nicholas Nemeth doing?
I got
in the Impact
Enzo
Zone?
Amore.
nah, he's cooked.
Enzo
bro.
been in
He's
MLW
cooked.
for the longest, and like just I don't know what he's doing.
Before we get into the MLW topic, let me run down the
They
NXT.
got a pay per view this weekend too. by the way.
Alex Kane, Tom Lawler. That should be
There
pretty
you go.
rocking. That should be
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good
yeah.
in Philly. They love Philly, yo. They always in Philly, man.
ECW Arena.
Basically. NXT title special guest referee LA Knight. Didn't really care for this moment, although it is great to always see LA Knight, but I mean,
Yeah.
just drop LA Knight in here just for the sake of it. Ilya Dragunov beat Dominic Mysterio. I think Ilya Dragunov's title reign is going to be an interesting one for the most part because there isn't a lot of main eventers in NXT right now. I think he's going to end up holding the title inevitably for a while, or he's going to play hot potato and it's going to go back to a former champion, which is Braun Breaker or Mella.
Like he's like Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? Like some people like it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
His match on the show was literally like copy and paste. Like I feel like this is how it'll be on the main roster if it's with somebody that's not like Gable or like fucking somebody that's a machine. Like that match was cool, but I just feel like this is how it's gonna be.
I feel like a lot of these talent, and I'm not saying this specifically about Ilya Dragunov because I know he's talented, but I feel like a lot of these talent at some point are just like we try to make it something different or something special because it's wrestling, but it's like the same thing if you think about like basketball, right? Like some of these teams are really good at basketball, but how many of these games are we really watching? You know what I mean? So it's like I just feel like at some point it's just maybe too much.
No, good
You know what I mean?
comparison. No, that's a good comparison. Ilya Dragunov kind of falls in that lane, which will come back to, you know, as we get closer to the breaking down the main event of NXT. I'll come back to this point, but who is even in the main event scene right now that I feel like is worthwhile? It's tough because they're trying to force Baron Corbin on us. And it's like, yo, dog, I'm not here for this, man. I'm just not here for the Baron Corbin rebrand in the main event scene. Wesley is going to be a champion at some point. He
should be a world champ.
He's killing it.
He should be the NXT champ down there.
I think him and Dragunov, because they had their feud to get to the world title, I think they will have a really good feud throughout the winter, and he can get to that. Braun, Mello, Dijak, Tyler Bate, if you want to throw him in there. And that's kind of like the main event scene of NXT, and it's just like, Dragunov's probably going to coast through this reign and just give the belt back to Mello or Braun. That's kind of where I feel about it. Trick Williams and Mello, how y'all feel about that potentially being a thing?
Diesel Shawn. Like it's been said a million times already, but it's apropos. Like I really like honestly, to be keep it a buck, Trick Williams has been the reason why I've tuned into NXT the last 2 or 3 weeks.
He's gotten over,
this
man.
Past week.
His matches were unbearable. I'm an NXT guy. His matches were unbearable in the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't see that, right? I didn't see like the I don't know what the fuck he's doing era.
And I don't even mean it was long. I don't even mean long ago. Like they were recently unbearable.
No, I feel you.
Because of repetition and consistently being in the spot he's in, he's had to get better with his opponents.
Yeah. And like what I've seen also is like in addition to that, like the thing about and here's like why the question that Brian H. Waters asked either last week or the week before was very interesting. Who has the higher ceiling, Trick Williams or Mello? The reason why that's interesting and a very legit question is like we have to understand what this company looks for. Who has a big personality? Like who's actually going to be able to take their personality and then you can take it and say, all right, go to this radio station today and promote the show. Go to this TV, do the Good Morning America joint, blah, blah, blah. I think Trick Williams probably can do that a little bit more and have people talking about his appearance a bit more than Mello can. Like, yeah, Mello is probably better in the ring, at least right now. We don't know what's going to happen next week or, 8 months from now.
Mello is too cool. You can tell the difference. Mello is playing the too cool guy, and Trick is like actually like he's got a crowd reaction whoop that Trick is
there
like,
has
damn.
never been anybody in the history of anything that has played the too cool role and won. Ever. That's just not how shit goes. You have to like make sure that there's a reason why people are tuning in to whatever your presentation is. And I think Trick Williams is a little bit further along in understanding that. Or maybe that's just how he naturally is. Like, but again, like for me, again, a guy, I'm kind of like in Boog's folder where it's like, I got a limit on the amount of shit that I'm trying to watch per week. So for me to tune into NXT, it's like, all right, somebody got to draw me in. Trick Williams was the reason why I was tuning in. That guy's kind of like a star.
I think that's why Ilya's gonna put the belt back in place of Melo. You know what I'm saying? Melo's gonna get the belt because it's
And
gonna
then have
have that
Mello and
feud.
Trick, yeah, and have
Because it's
and
like
that's money. That's money. I'll watch that shit.
because Ilya is a
Absolutely watch
holding
that shit.
pattern. Ilya's a holding pattern.
If they
Unfortunately,
started to use NXT more like, I don't know if this is a right comparison. Maybe OVW used to be used, or not OVW, FCW before it was NXT, where it's like they used to feed people there, like even if they were rehabbing before they got back to the main roster to come back. So it's like if, like, let's say Randy Orton just popped up in NXT. Nobody really wants to see Randy Orton fight anybody in NXT. But if somebody the caliber of Randy Orton went to NXT and had a program going there every week, it would be like, all right, yeah, I'll pay attention and I'll watch that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I
I
feel
think
like
that's
they
what
were
Baron
starting to do
Corbin
that
is
with
down there
Becky.
for.
Yeah,
that's
like
what that is exactly what Baron Corbin is down there doing, rehabbing his
Yeah.
character right now, so he can have him. He's in the main event scene right now, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good, you know. But
Baron Corbin is like the non-flashy Miz as far as what his role is in WWE. Like you know what the Miz is there to do.
Baron Corbin, you know exactly what he's there to do. Like
Yeah, he's a mechanic.
He's not winning. Like if he won the NXT World Title from Ilya, I would truly be like, holy shit, this brand is going.
Yeah. What are we doing?
This is getting crazy now. Like y'all might as well put the belt on Von Wagner. At least he had
What show did y'all watch live this past Tuesday? Did you watch Dynamite live? Did you watch NXT live? Did you flip?
Flip.
Did you
I
watch
only watched Dynamite.
Live?
Flip both.
Flip?
Yeah, I flip both. We'll keep going. The NXT Breakout Tournament for the women. Lola Vice defeated Danny Palmer. A lot of dope women in that tournament. NXT's women's division is bar none one of the best women's divisions out right now, and they're all still
Up there
learning.
with Impact.
Yeah, literally. You know what I'm saying? I remember 2 weeks ago, damn near the whole show was like all women matches, and I'm just like, it was fucking really refreshing for a change.
Listen, anybody in ears and eyes reach, if you want to watch like a solid women's division on television, Honor Club is there, Impact is there, NXT is there.
Easily. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to rely on WWE and AEW to just let your whole thesis of women's division, women's wrestling be terrible. It's like, actually, if you go a little bit further, there's some really great women wrestlers right now in the field. And then the main event, Melo defeated Breaker with Cena and Heyman in his corner with a cameo from The Undertaker. This match is going to probably be done 3 more times. The next time will probably be for the World Heavyweight title. Braun really didn't gain anything other than being made famous by The Undertaker. Melo is currently in, I don't know. Like, this is what, as an NXT guy, I'm just like, now what? I'm just like, what now? Like, that's kind of why I was just like, this is just nothing got advanced here. Like, this match didn't even make sense. Why is this match happening? Why is Melo not like, I was watching the match, like, why is Melo and Braun not fighting? Why are they not fighting over the title? Like, they should be fighting over the title right now.
Tapping into this and understanding that Braun.
Sidebar, Ayo, before you even go, let me just. Yeah. This is exactly why I say Ilya's reign is going to be interchangeable, because he's getting the Seth Rollins treatment right now, where it's like, yo, fam,
he's a mechanic.
This is the main event. What happened to mine? I'm no champion. How am I not the main event?
He's a mechanic. Like, Seth. Low key, and I'm not sure that anybody's ever really said this, right? But like, Seth Rollins has benefited from music to the level of how Bobby Roode benefited from music. Because outside of this chant and this music and the fan, Seth Rollins is a really good wrestler. That's where it starts and stops with him.
The common denominator is we all are asking, what is Seth Rollins' character right now?
We haven't been able to answer that for about 2 years now. Like, Seth Rollins' character, we've compared
across
it to
all networks. All of us are asking, what is the character?
Yeah, we've compared it, like, the closest comparison has been to like the Joker character, where he's like, like the whole like not mechanic, but the architect, where he's supposed to be like a mastermind type character who understands how to get under your skin and beat you psychologically before he beats you physically.
Right.
Great. But WWE's Nuance was able to do that with Triple H 20 years ago and not necessarily now. There's like, it's completely, 2 different environments for that kind of character to exist. A lot more has to happen for it to really work. So instead, this music and the and the whole chants and shit, that's the reason why Seth Rollins is like a conversation. Because other than
Outfits.
that, yeah, and of course, 100%. Like the outfits, he's leaned into like just being an over the top character. Because without the outfits and without the music, you have a really, really good wrestler.
That is a gimmick. What a gimmick! You're just over the top. I'm just over the top.
I am over the top.
All right,
that's it.
I'll never be over the top. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I love the top. You know what I mean, shout out to the top. Motivational mata, man. You gotta love the motivational mata, man.
Sometimes you go over the top rope. Sometimes you go through the middle. You heard?
Yeah, I mean, so that is our NXT take, fellas. You know, NXT.
Santana is on television right now. It's a big motherfucker now, bro. It's amazing. If you look at Santana a year ago, I might have been able to beat him in an arm wrestling match. Right now, not so sure.
Yo, shouts out to LA Knight too. LA Knight Roman about to be a thing.
I'm looking forward to that. He held his own in that opening.
Yeah,
he held his own. I
gotta tap into SmackDown. I gotta watch that shit tonight.
He looked like a star.
Season premiere, even though there was an episode last week.
Season premiere shit. Season premiere, Monday Night Raw and shit, all that shit. Season premiere shit. You know, I think that is.
Chad is fucking crazy.
No, it is the season premiere of Raw, for real. They loaded it up.
You just said that shit so many times, like, and I'm way too liquored up to hear you say that many times and not acknowledge it.
Boog is on Jupiter.
Nah, man. Man's is slanted right now, son. Man got the wild slant.
I only like hit this shit once, and I can't even like think about it right now. I'm gonna be all right.
You got a pod with the shades on, son. Shit crazy.
Yo, Boog about to sit here with the shades on and just not move for the next 20 minutes.
Not worried. I'm about to they're gonna be on his weekend at Bernie's.
Yo, dead ass.
For the rest of the pod, they'll just chill like this.
Weekend at Bugs right now.
Weekend at Bugs.
Shouts out to
that's the name of the episode. I don't give a fuck. Weekend at Boogies, yo.
Word. He don't got the sunglasses. He just got the down cap.
Nah, I don't see nobody literally, bro. I can't see shit.
Can't see me.
Nah. So that is NXT. Y'all want to touch base on Dynamite? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to go too crazy on it, but we could air our grievances out if we had any, how we felt about it.
I honestly, look, here's the deal. Like, I have more if what we're talking about is what we watched on TV, I have more grievances with NXT than I do Dynamite.
Dynamite was regular. They did what they normally do. They stuck to their guns.
No. Dynamite was
doing, yo.
Dynamite was regular when you look at the people that are regulars on Dynamite. NXT was regular when you look at the people that were regulars on NXT, except for there were about 75% of that show was Raw. And that's my grievance, is that, like, if this is the show and you're trying to build, if you want me to tune in next week, show me what I'm going to see next week. Make me excited. Like, if Undertaker comes out, instead of him duffing Braun Breaker out, let me see the Undertaker come out and Braun Breaker duff him. Like, get some heat on the new guy who's coming up, or your pillar for this territory right now that duffs out a Hall of Fame or a 60-year-old. That's not what they're going to do. My grievance with NXT or with Dynamite, it was a regular Dynamite.
They could have even done something like they did with Ted DiBiase and LA Knight when he was back there. Like, at least they could have had somebody there for a couple of weeks and ran.
No, I am curious. I am very curious now, because I'm like, where does Braun Breaker even go from this? He's not feuding with The Undertaker, and him and Mello, I don't think they need to be running a match again. So, like, now Braun Breaker is really in a holding pattern, because he's not going to the main roster. He's not main eventing WrestleMania. So, like, now Braun Breaker is just going to be still fighting for the World Heavyweight title in NXT.
But, like, Braun is definitely supposed to be one of your guys, no? Like, why is one of your guys in, like, so close to a question mark?
He's just in such a limbo. Like, if they turn the switch on Mello and Trick already, I wouldn't like that. I think Shawn Michaels' booking has been a little bit better than that. I don't think they're going to jumpstart that just yet. But Braun is the biggest, like, question mark. And he's been. Man's just feud with Von Wagner for a fucking month. Baron Corbin, like, he is the biggest question mark of NXT right now. So that end of that show didn't do any justice for what to look forward to with Braun Breaker's character next week for me. I feel you on that.
Peace to his spray tan though. That shit was damn near black.
We always have Grayson Waller. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, what an effect! Dynamite.
Dynamite. I really loved the Swerve and Danielson match.
I feel like we all did.
Yeah, more than that. That was the best match of probably the week, let alone the Tuesday, probably the week. But outside of that, I mean,
do you think Swerve should have lost?
Including Fastlane?
No.
Yes. No. Yes. My opinion is yes, and here's why. My opinion is yes, and here's why. More than the match, what I loved is the angle with Hangman. Let's go back to the beginning. This was Swerve calling Hangman out to a match because I want your spot. I don't think you deserve it. Then they have the match, and Swerve beats him via interference.
Biggest win of his AEW career by far.
Right. Now he has the match. They both are booked in matches with separate people on Dynamite, and Swerve has his match, and Hangman costs him that match. And then later on, Swerve costs Hangman his match with Jay White. That's what I fucking love. This is when we start getting into stories or angles or whatever.
I see the logic in that.
Right. I love the fact that I know this is going to go forward and it's going to be personal. It's going to continue to elevate. And whoever comes out on top, which I think is going to be Swerve, it's going to be because we care about this journey over the last, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, about how they've been going tit for tat back and forth and being petty. Match for match, nah. I think, like, I want to see Swerve fucking, like, go to the moon. But I love that angle, and I also understand that, tomorrow is Danielson's match against Christian Cage. Win, lose, or draw, I can see logic in either direction because I think that Bryan Danielson winning that TNT title means he's going to wrestle every week, probably twice a week, and just have great matches, which I know is what he wants to do anyway. And even if he loses, we know that he still has that year before he retires. So it's going to be interesting either way.
But he hasn't lost. And that's what has me really this is tough. If you're an AEW guy, this is a toughie.
But
funny finish.
But isn't that what you want? Don't you want like a guy who you think shouldn't lose against a guy who you think shouldn't lose?
No, I agree.
So you don't know what happens?
I like it. I like the concept. Like the thought of it is like, all right, this is pretty good for a change because I'm not watching a predictable collision main event where it's like Christian Cage versus fucking Shark Boy. Like, yeah, I get it.
100%.
This is like believable.
Other than that, like I think off of that show, like I like that might be where I stop.
I'll run through it. Let me run through it. We had Bryan Danielson defeated Swerve. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Chris Jericho.
Stop. God damn it. Hobbs is fine.
We
have to see. Listen.
Yo, fam, how many? Ayo, you got to get a shirt that says "We'll have to see" because you always say that every 4 months.
No,
like,
I don't.
We'll just see, yo. We'll just see.
I say Hobbs is fine.
Yeah, we'll just see.
We have to see, but check it out. Who else has squashed Chris Jericho, the first AEW World Champion?
Nobody.
100%.
Nobody. You're right. I'm here. I'm walking with you. I'm walking with you.
That was definitely
rest my case.
I'm walking with you. Okay.
100% major.
Now, how many times has Hobbs hopped from click to click, group to group, and nothing has changed,
1,000%.
nothing's transpired, and it's all been potential? Sometimes even being under the AEW legends, I feel like overshadows them sometimes. And I feel like Hobbs is going to hopefully not be the victim of that. But this is cool. Like, I'm here with you. I'm walking with you. But am like,
what the difference is here is Hobbs has been in 2 factions prior to this. He was in Team Taz, and then he was in that QTV weirdo bullshit, right? Those 2 factions, you have Taz, who's a legend, right? And then you have like the QTV thing, who we know like QTV is like Office in AEW or whatever the case is,
and the AAA fucking Mexican champion is
right. It's basically always under somebody who we know was nice in the ring, and you're supposed to be their young boy. The difference here with this Don Callis family, at least in America, because like Takeshita's been a fucking monster outside of AEW prior.
He's killing it.
In AEW and in America right now, Boog, you know your camera's black? Word. So in America right now, Takeshita is on the way up. Sammy Guevara has been out for mad long, and he's still on the way up. And so is Powerhouse Hobbs. So what I think this faction is Don Callis basically picking a bunch of blue chip stocks in his mind, and I'm going to ride whoever's the hottest up to the top. Pause. So you got Hobbs, who has mad potential to go to the top. You got Guevara, who has mad potential to go to the top. And you have Takeshita, who has mad potential to go to the top. I feel that that's the perfect place for Hobbs to be in because nobody really outshines the other. Like nobody on the Callis roster outshines the other as far as like
you got the pure wrestler stud, you got the slimy heel stud, and then you got the monster heel.
Right. But nobody is a former world champ. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like nobody's an OG in that.
I want to give it some time, but in true AEW faction like history, like
yeah. I mean, yo, that's
months,
my asterisk. Like, I see the potential in Hobbs and where it can go, but he also
I see your excitement. I can tell.
He also
excited.
Yeah. I mean,
Black
he also
man
just
muscle.
had a match. He also just had a match with Miro.
I feel like I could see something major coming out of this only because I really feel like this is the spark he needed to show that his ferocity isn't just some bullshit. Like him squashing Jericho made Jericho look like shit, but it was good because it made him look amazing. Because Jericho, even though we know Jericho in his elder statesman, years, how he's been in here for how many years? He's been fighting for almost 40 years. He's been wrestling forever, right? He should be kind of, winding down, I guess, or losing more of his matches that he's been in. And even the Judas effect itself is, as a finisher, the way it's hit nowadays, and I'm not, no disrespect to the guy, but it doesn't look as believable as some of the other finishers we see.
Andrade's elbow looks
Andrade's
like that shit hurt.
1000%. Andrade's elbow is fire.
Yeah.
That should look like it hurt.
So I just think that Will Hobbs crushing Jericho the way he did was not only needed, it was welcomed. Very good timing for, I think, both of them.
I'm here for that.
We've been saying Jericho's character needed to kind of
take a hiatus, take a quick little break, take the 05 break that he did.
Gotta relax.
I agree. I'm with you on that. So we'll see what develops on the further shows.
But yeah, bravo for Hobbs, man. Hobbs looked good. He had a different look. I don't know what it was different about him, but
he didn't have the top of the singlet. It was just the trunks.
Yeah, he's huge, bro. He literally looks like if he were to get into a fight with a fucking great white shark, the shark would lose. You know what I'm saying? So
I think Hobbs is going to go to NXT next year. Call me crazy, but I think he could be
him,
NXT
Ricky Starks, Wardlow. I could see them all getting out of there.
I think. Oh God, we'll get to that.
But then, goddamn, we'll get to that. But then we have the same problem at that point that first of all, the same two problems the one problem that we had with WWE before AEW started, where there's too many people and y'all ain't doing shit with them, and the problem we have now with AEW, where there's too many people and you're not doing shit with the people you should be doing.
Actually, if Wardlow, who'd you say, Bug? Sammy, Wardlow,
Hobbs.
Those three could go to
NXT. Wardlow, Starks, and Hobbs.
Yeah.
You can even throw Sammy, whatever. Hypothetical. If those 3-4 landed in NXT next week, they're going right to the main event. Like, they are the main event of NXT. Like, off top. Like, Hobbs and Wardlow are like, that's not fodder. Like, they're not Von Wagner. Like, they're going to make a splash in NXT. Like, I could see that happening. Yeah, we'll say it's a little crowded, but we just ran down the main event scene, and there's like 5 people in that whole main event scene right now.
Man,
this is actually a pretty good matchup too. If you think about Braun Breaker and Wardlow in the same vein, right? Like who wins that? Like in that bracket,
same wrestler, right?
Right.
The only difference is you have like Breaker has the heritage. Other than
that's
that,
damn near a dream match. That's a dream match for some people.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
We'll go. Next match, international title, Orange Cassidy defeated Rey Fenix. Heel turn for Cassidy. What y'all think?
I think like him staring at the title. I mean, like this is why like sometimes like I'm glad I read a lot, and I'm also like it hurts the enjoyment. All this was the reasoning of Mox had a concussion, and that's why Phoenix won. He was never supposed to be the guy. and then they thought Mox was going to come back, and then he wasn't cleared. And I think it was eventually supposed to be a comeback, maybe a heel turn, or maybe just a really solid match for Orange Cassidy versus Mox. But we're just not ready to get that shit because of fucking health. That's all that shit was. And I think also think Ray Phoenix is busted up and hurt also.
Visa
like,
issues.
That too.
Visa,
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
I saw that shit.
Visa.
Yeah. Like I've been saying, like I really want a Phoenix and a Pentagon solo run. I don't think we're gonna get that shit in AEW. Period. So this was really just like, yeah, you're the guy closest to me right now. I think you can hold it down for a little bit. Orange Cassidy, yeah, like I guess the way you would turn him heel is you have to have somebody in his clique challenge him and have him react in a fucked up way.
I almost don't even think he'll be a heel. I think he might just be like just possessed with the title at this point.
He has to be serious. I think you know what the cool shit here is, like I think there's like maybe they see main event potential in Orange Cassidy, but to be a main event,
right? I'm not bugging.
He has it now. Yeah.
He won.
Yeah. But like to be a main event person, you have to have an element of like legitimacy and seriousness to you. So I think maybe if that's the way they want to go about it, so he has this shit now, and now he's like, oh fuck it, I lost it. I know how I felt when I lost it. Now that I have it back, I don't want to lose it again.
Here's do anything.
Here's what I'm willing to do to keep it. That's how you make him a serious character.
I agree. I rock with that. I rock with that method because really, you can't think of many characters that have been clowns that have made it to the top like that. Because
ever.
Even Sami Zayn had a hell of a run during the pandemic as a super villain, and then like he had his moment in Montreal. Right. So it's like
all these guys that are clowns make it to the IC/US/ North American /TBS/ international level only.
Orange Cassidy versus MJF, with MJF's the babyface and Orange Cassidy is the heel. That's something I did not have on my 2024 bingo card.
Line it up. I want to see it.
That's fire. All right, so we continue on. Wardlow defeated Matt Sydal by referee's decision, then walked off into the crowd and just said, "I'm out."
Fuck are we doing with Wardlow? You gotta do something different. This ain't gonna be. This is not going to hit. I'm gonna tell you, this ain't gonna hit. But we've already done this about 2 times.
He tapped into Busted Open, right? So you heard Bully's take on that.
On which now? What are we talking about?
On Wardlow.
Wardlow.
Oh God, yeah.
I thought it made sense, and I kind of wanted to expand on it.
What was the take?
It was, if you're gonna put 2 monsters like Hobbs and Wardlow in the same sphere, have them have the same trajectory, but one is a face in Wardlow and one is the heel in Hobbs. Same everything they do, but just one is a super face, one is a super heel. I was like,
so are we supposed to root for Wardlow right now?
I'm gonna tell you what, I'm getting a vibe from Wardlow like as if, and I'm just giving you my God's honest opinion, I feel like when he goes out there, it looks like the frustration of somebody who does not want to be out there, and he's literally fighting like his last few matches before he's done with his contract or something. Like, that's the vibe I get from him going out there and him walking off into the crowd. It reminds me of like when Rodman or somebody would be pissed at the end of the game and just rip their jersey off and walk out. Like, it has a weird vibe to it. It doesn't feel right. I don't know.
It feels like a shoot. It feels like a shoot, but it's like not a shoot, and it's just like, this isn't even working. Like, who's coming up with this plan? Like, it's almost like he's like, yo, I'll just do this, and Tony Khan's like, yeah, whatever, man, whatever works. Just here's your time. Yeah. Make use of it. Like, I think that's just what he's doing. He's like, yeah, it's your time, man. Do what you got to do.
They need some editors over there, bro.
That's quiet, bro. Do you hear how quiet it was after he did his shtick? Like, dude,
because nobody cares, because we've seen this at least 3 times already. Like,
I'm gonna give you a
we've seen
right
this
now.
run.
Here's a cooked, and I would never, but I gotta do it. I think all of us are done with the Adam and Roderick Strong video vignettes at this point. God. You know, I just want to see what's gonna happen with this story for now. I'm tired. We're done with the setup. Let's pull the trigger. What's going on with this shit? Like,
there are 2 names that I think a lot of people are in favor of, and I'm not. Adam Cole, Adam Copeland. I'm good.
Adam Cole is Hey Arnold, and Roderick Strong is fucking Helga. and I'm crying, yo. That is really the best comparison right now. And
Chad.
hey, Adam,
Chad.
Adam, hey, it is tough, man,
I
because
need you, bro.
they're gonna milk this thing out
I need
until
this favor, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro?
they're gonna milk this thing out until the acclaimed now have a reason to stay here. Like the acclaimed are now like, all right,
Yo,
this is our
do you
chance to
see
jump into the main event.
Max Caster doing this weird ass on air flirting with MJF shit? It's like really fucking bugged out, bro. There's something wrong.
He said MJF isn't allowed, like he doesn't have friends. He's trying to find friends, and then like Max is the friend before, and it's like this is the shit with AEW that like me and you AO go back and forth about. It's like, yo, the AEW crowd's gonna know, and it's like, yo, come on, yo, like maybe they don't know. Maybe they just don't fucking know, bro.
I ain't gonna front. Like I missed about the last 30 seconds. What you said?
It was like literally me and you going back and forth about this shit.
About what? I have no idea what we're talking about right now.
Oh no, I was just saying like Max Caster, like his,
Uh-huh.
like it's like some weird shit going on with like him and MJF.
Oh, with
like,
MJF?
on screen. Yeah,
Like me, it was basically me saying
it's their,
like,
it's their bromance from
it's
Twitter. Yeah,
but
it's
that's
some Twitter
it.
bullshit.
That is our argument is like, yes, AEW.
No,
if
no,
you're,
no,
if
no,
you're,
no.
if you're in
That's never my
AEW,
argument.
Like the New
you're
Japan
supposed to
shit.
know.
yeah. Like,
But it's
we're
like,
just
no,
supposed to know
I
this shit.
don't
got
know.
you.
No.
Like, I don't fucking
But that,
know.
like that's never my argument. My argument has only ever been the legends from New Japan or the top guys from New Japan coming over to AEW.
What about the
than
legend
that,
of Max
I
Caster?
1000% agree with you.
The legend of Max Caster, yo. What about the people that know about Max?
I can't hear you. Are you muted or is it me?
You hear me? You hear me? You hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. What's going on? AO off the drink right now. That boy off the drink.
Yo,
Drink in my cup.
AO threw up the X. They taking
Drink
him
in
off on the
my
stretcher
cup.
right now.
My AirPods
Yeah.
died. Nah. My argument is only, goddamn, I'm loud. My argument has only ever been that, like, the legends, the top guys that come over from fucking New Japan, that's the fan base that AEW tapped in when they built the company.
Right,
Other
so what
than
about-
that, I 1000% agree with you. Like, you need to do video packages to make people care about people. You need to do this. You need to do that. 1000%. It's just like the Okadas and the Ishis and all of those.
Oh,
You don't fuck
God,
with 'em.
don't get me into that fucking
Right, like
issue
as corny
that
as
he
it,
kicks
as
them
corny as
match.
it was though, like I feel like I could give an example of where we would even complain when we do get a video package, because like the Righteous, right? Like that video package, we were like, okay, what, like you called them the Diet Wyatts, like
Crazy.
it was
days.
just like it was an interesting situation. It's like, you know, so I do want a backstory when it calls for a backstory, but if you're not coming in for any kind of program, I don't give a fuck either way. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care about the backstory.
And I think that's like a bigger problem. It's not necessarily that we don't necessarily know who these people are. I think it's a problem of their
Connection. Like, how are they connected? Like, people should know how. The common folk should know how not Kenta. What's the other dude name? The one who can't wrestle a lot. Kota Ibushi. Him and Kenny Omega. We should know the history of that and why it's important. We shouldn't just be like, "Hey, here's the Golden Lovers." Like,
Right.
nah. Can you
And,
tell me a backstory?
And what I think about is like they did that late. Like they told that story, but they didn't tell that story when he first came in. Like for the first match, for that first whatever the multi-tag joint was.
And yo, I'll tell
So
you
if-
what, that people do exist like this too. Like I know that we talk about this fan that's like this rabid fan that knows all this shit, but I promise you, name drop again. Just call me name drop Boog, but Joey from the pizza shop, homeboy that I'm talking about, like no bullshit. Like this is a real person. He fucking, the first time I met him, he had a Golden Lovers t-shirt on. You know what I mean? Like
So
these
random.
are real people who fucking sweat this shit. They live and breathe this shit.
So that's
it's like
that's what I'm
they're
saying.
definitely
Like
tuned in.
That's the fan base. Listen, AEW is a big ass indie with an amazing budget.
Word.
Like, let's not get this shit confused. That's exactly what AEW is. So when you talk, this is why, like, yeah, we'll bring this person from this federation and let them. What does Tony Khan actually benefit from another federation's championship being defended on his show?
Right.
He doesn't. So this is like nerd wrestling shit. That's the fan base. It's just the only problem is then when they're then competing, or at least telling us that they're competing with WWE for viewership. Now we're talking about the difference between Sunday night between 12 to 2 on Hot 97 versus
Good point.
Z100 during the middle of the week, during the morning drive.
Good point.
That's the difference. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Well,
No, it makes sense to me.
We go. Wardlow's cooked. Jay White defeated Adam Page. Really long match. Really good
We
match.
thought
It was
Jay
cool.
White was
It was
cooked
good.
too, not that long ago. Jay White's looking like he's on an uptick.
You know what? He just got to stop doing 30-minute promos, man. Just stop fucking talking for so long, yo. Like every time he gets the mic, I'm just like, oh god.
Who does
here we
30-minute
go.
promos
idea, right?
sound like? Who does 30-minute promos sound like outside of Jay White?
Cody Rhodes.
Triple H. And didn't I say that Bullet Club Gold is DX?
Let's say Cody Rhodes.
Bullet Club Gold is DX.
No, you're right.
You did. You did.
That
You
bike
did say
segment
that.
was dope. And
That looks like some DX shit, no?
No,
Chad,
they've got great things, but when Jay White gets the mic, it's just like, oh god,
Yeah,
this is
and
gonna
we
get
said
even
that same
longer.
shit with Triple H. Like, shut the
I
fuck
hate when
up by
Cornette's
now.
right though. Like Cornette was talking about how both programs just end up doing the same shit. Like if one of them's got a hospital gig going and they got an ambulance,
Yes,
like the other show's
yes.
got an ambulance, right?
It's like,
So
yo,
it's
how many
like-
times they checking out of the hospital and going into this like the Roger
Corbin
Strong
comes out
shit?
with a microphone. We get the
Hey,
badass
man, yo,
version of the
fucking tell
Undertaker. We got
Cornette
the
see me
guns on
outside. I'm
bikes.
tired of this nigga. I be bringing this nigga's fucking name up mad times and shit. Tell this nigga what's good.
Yo,
man.
we in the Cordy crew, man. Me and Bug gonna be at
Fuck
the
this
Cornette
nigga,
show. Me and Bug gonna be the only urbans at the Cornette show.
Nigga say, yo, and another thing, Jim Cornette said. Like, fuck this
Anyways,
nigga,
anyways.
Yo, we keep talking about this shit like we go to the same church and AO's not involved, like he's not invited.
That nigga said Father Cornette. I mean, fuck this nigga, man.
Yo, but honestly, but his shit really do be like fucking valid because he's got experience and age, my nigga. It's like if JR was really, I mean, he's got his podcast, but like, there's certain people where it's like when they say certain shit, it's
I
like,
get it. You know
His
what?
hate
It's like-
takes, I don't
I get
align
it.
with the hate takes, but his critique takes be spot on sometimes.
yes,
yo.
because I be
Here's- yo,
feeling
here's
it.
my
I be
problem,
feeling
though.
it.
I can't speak directly to Jim Cornette, but here's what I'll say about like niggas that have been in the business for mad long. You have niggas that will defend right now Braun Breaker being in the ring with Undertaker, getting duffed out, choke slam, shit talked, and say, oh, he got a rub. You got old niggas now that will say that. And you know what? They're wrong. And I don't give a fuck if you've made money in this industry. Me as a person who would buy a ticket to watch this show will not buy a ticket next week.
You know what? I think you and Cornette would have probably got along there because Cornette ain't feeling that shit either. So I think you would have.
word, so,
Yeah,
all right, tell a nigga pass
He-
the fucking
he-
line,
bro.
then.
Yeah, Cordy
Tell
would
nigga
have.
what's
Yeah,
good on the cabinet,
he
you
was.
heard?
He wasn't feeling that shit either. He was like, "Yo, what the fuck, man?"
Cornette
Yo,
drinks.
AO, AO is more Brian Lasty, isn't he, bro?
Yes, I could feel that.
Yeah.
I'm
Who
more.
these niggas?
Me and you are more
Who
corny
these
than AO
niggas,
is Brian.
Who are these niggas? The fuck we talking about?
Yo, AO's heated.
Because AO be feeling the same type of way, but he don't want to say it the way me and you be getting it off.
Yo.
I hate all this shit, man.
He's like, no, I agree, but like, I mean, he's not bad, but like, I mean, like, I feel you though. Like, it's like, no, but you know we're right. Like, you know, I hate Japanese wrestling, but like, you know, I have like a, yeah,
This shit is
No, I'm
fire,
kidding.
nigga. Fuck that.
yeah. But all right, we'll go. So yeah, MJF is a babyface. Here was my topic. You know what I'm saying? We won't get too long winded. My actual topic was, what is the shelf life of MJF's babyface run? Because this shit's gonna expire real soon.
Nah, bro, we gotta clap this shit now. I don't know
Yo,
about the
he said
babyface
clap
run.
this
At least the fucking title run. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a little bit lower, Paul.
That's
I'm a little-
crazy. I don't hear nobody saying take the title of MJF. In fact, I feel like it's the most coastal of a title reign he could have since Roman Reigns. Like legitimately, like he's the
I've had
world
enough.
champion and you don't even care. It's like
had
you
enough.
seen him-
don't
you seen
even
him-
care,
That's
yo.
the
You seen
problem.
him drop
But
the
is that not the
26 days
problem?
on Kenny Omega? He was just like 26 days, bitch.
That's funny.
He's gonna beat.
But
his
yeah,
reign.
he's literally. I didn't even realize that Full Gear is coming up, and I'm like, wow, it's about to be.
Speaking
Gear
of
already?
Japanese legends, right now, House of Glory, Minoru Suzuki, fuck the world. You heard?
Again, this guy don't stop, man.
Murder grandpa in the building.
Yo, he don't stop, son. He's
He's
gonna
the
be on
Nick
NXT.
Gage of New Japan.
He'll be on NXT next week, yo, fighting fucking Wesley, son. Shit is crazy.
Nah, they ain't gonna do no deal with nobody outside of the fucking league. That's the problem with the
Yeah,
E.
man. But
What's
no,
the nah? I'm
yeah, the
yo,
shelf life of
are
MJF
you not
babyface
over
run.
MJF's title run, bro? This shit is still cool.
I'm more
I've
so
had
over
enough.
the babyface run, and I hate to say it as an MJF guy, but I think I'm kind of like give it a
Even
couple
if he
more and then
turns
let's
heel,
pack it up.
even if he turns heel as a champion right now, I've had enough. Like
Right.
I want to see something different. Like personally, I want him to see. I would not be mad at all if he loses the title as a babyface to the heel Jay White, because I think like Jay White as the champ, surrounded by Bullet Club gold, is gold on TV. That's going to be entertaining as fuck. And then from there, we have to see like, all right, what is MJF's descent back into the evil MJF going to look like? Right? You can do, even if you want to do these. First of all, these Adam Cole segments with Roderick Strong are some of the
Getting
worst
terrible,
pieces of
getting
television I've ever seen
bad
in my
and
life.
bad. Yo, I miss Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish so much more than
So
ever
bad.
before. So
So
much more
bad.
than before.
And look,
Get them
I'm
away
very
from the
well
kingdom.
documented. I'm very well documented on this pod as like not being an Adam Cole guy. But
He's Adam Brittle. He's brittle.
right? Yeah, him and
It's
Punk.
unfortunate. It's
Him and
very
Punk.
unfortunate.
Him and
Very,
Punk.
very unfortunate.
Right?
He's like it's almost like WWE like knew what they were doing by like making him a manager. Like, yo, we're just gonna make you talk.
Dog, you can.
And
I guarantee
it
you
all
can put, you can,
comes full circle now.
but you can put Adam Cole and stand him next. Listen, I'm 5'7". I'm probably 150 to 160 pounds. And if you put Adam Cole and stand him next to me, you're not going to be able to tell who can bust whose ass in a fight
You look like the
just
wrestler.
based on size.
He looked like the white guy.
But that's dig. But he's on TV, and we're supposed to look at him as a credible world champ. So anyway,
So in your
What-
fantasy world, you would book Jay
what
White
you do right
to
now
beat it full
in
gear.
this pay-per-view that we already have booked full gear, Jay White beats Adam Cole. J. Cole.
It's Mad J's going on right now.
Mad J's, Mad Coles. You heard? Piece of J. Cole who bust Drake's ass on that shit too. You heard?
He did. He
You
smoked it.
have Jay White, bust Adam Cole. I don't know. Jay White's your next champ. And then you have MJF descent back into what you do is you put him in those skits and you have him run up on Roderick Strong and Adam Cole while they're both injured and attack them. I'm mad that you weren't there for me when I would have been there for you. Blah 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 blah. Just on some super evil shit.
I do want to
Think
pack
about
this whole
MJF
feud up,
attacking
though.
a handicapped person. That's what he would have been doing.
I do want to pack this whole feud up, though. I'm with
I
you
don't
on
want
that.
to see none
Like,
of this shit. I don't
gotta
want to see
go.
any of this.
All right, so my question, Boog, if not Jay White, who would you have as the world champ? Who would beat MJF if not Jay White? Or unless you're gonna go Jay White too.
For the world championship right now?
Yeah, like if you go by AO's logic and you take the title off MJF, who would have it right now?
Wardlow.
Get the fuck out of here, son.
Nah.
Although I'll go back to the Wardlow match. I feel like Wardlow and MJF need each other more than ever right now.
Boom.
They
That's why
need
you
each
do
other
it.
more than ever. Like Wardlow should be the help to MJF that he needs.
I
Like
would
it
say
shouldn't.
Samoa
It shouldn't even
Joe.
be the Acclaim. I'm with you
Samoa
on that.
Joe, I wanted
I was
him
with
to
you on
beat.
that. I was with
Deal.
you on that.
But
I was with you on
motherfucker,
that.
didn't I say let's have Samoa Joe beat MJF at Grand Slam?
I was
Yeah.
I was rocking with you. I was rocking with that.
Yeah,
That'd be the
I'd say
surprise we
Samoa
needed.
Joe.
That's the surprise we needed. And now he's going back on an ascent to get back to the match
Right.
and get back to the title, which is just like, but
Yeah.
you lost already. And you're the
But
TV
Pete-
champion, the tiny belt champ.
If we want to
Casio
do,
belt.
if we want to do, yeah, he got a fucking watch on his shoulder. If we want to do surprise, you have Wardlow, who we have no reason to root against him right now. You have Wardlow beat MJF. When Wardlow came back last week, not this week, last week, he had MJF written on his tape, on his wrist tape. MJF written on his tape.
Mhm.
So we're to believe that this is his motivation. At some point, he's going to get to MJF. You have Wardlow beat MJF for the title while he's still a face, and he's still a face, and then you have the heel Samoa Joe feud with with Wardlow as the champ somewhere down the line, a month or two later on whatever the next pay-per-view run is. But like,
Yo, this man is
that's how you
drunk as
not at all.
fuck right now.
That's how you get
To be
Wardlow back up.
booking Wardlow as
Listen,
the
how
world
else are we
heavyweight
going to? What
champion
else are we going to
of
do
all
with Wardlow?
elite wrestling?
What else are we going to do with Wardlow to care about him?
Not put the world title on him. I'll tell you that much.
You
That's
have
not
him
what you
beat
need to be doing.
MJF, bruh. Right now.
If the world title's going to anybody, and it's not Samoa Joe, and it's not Jay White, and it's definitely not Wardlow, it's going to Christian Cage. It's going to fucking Christian Cage.
But you know they're
bro.
not going to do that. Wardlow, listen.
I said fantasy.
You're a betting man. Wardlow has a better chance right now of winning the world championship than Christian Cage.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a hard no just because nobody reacts to Wardlow and nobody will react.
And that's exactly why he has a better chance, because like Christian Cage, we know what Christian Cage is here to do. Christian Cage is a guy who's in his 50s at this point, 40s, 50s, whatever the case is.
Late 40s, early 50s.
Nobody expects Christian Cage to be at a world championship program or at a world championship level here ever. That's not what he's here to do.
He just was in a world championship program when he came in. He was a world champion of Impact, and he main evented All Out. And he main evented All Out with Kenny Omega. He had 2 fire matches with Kenny Omega. Let's not front.
And he lost.
He won the first one.
But he lost the world title match.
But he won the first world title match.
Impact?
Yes.
Right. My point.
But he's heated up even more. Come on, man. I ain't even got to break down the Christian Cage analysis right now. It's just like he's already the main focal point of AEW. If you put the belt on him.
Listen, understand what I'm saying. I am way more entertained by Christian Cage than Wardlow. Yes. But what I'm saying is if you want shock value and you want backstory, you have Wardlow beat MJF. He has a better chance of beating MJF than Christian does of beating MJF.
I would almost intertwine the stories and have Wardlow go back with MJF and save MJF and be the aide to MJF, because that could resuscitate Wardlow and also help MJF. And then along the lines, bring Christian Cage in, have them feud, Wardlow turns, Christian wins. We're all happy. Double or nothing, 2024. Book it, Tony Khan. We're going to go on. Wrapping up Dynamite. Sheeta beats Saraya for the AEW Women's title. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I like Sheeta more than I do Saraya, but at the end of the day, let's get something happening with the women's division. I have no faith that you're going to do it, so moving on. Agreed.
We're all in unison on that. In the main event, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage. Well, Adam Copeland beat Luchasaurus with Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne ate another spear, like I said he would for the rest of his time in AEW at the moment.
We got to think about this. If you're WWE, you got to kind of just like, there's no disrespect to Adam Copeland, but if you're WWE, you got to look at that and be like, yeah, we made the right move. Because there's no way your first match is against fucking Luchasaurus in a Nick Wayne
furious.
Feud.
I was furious when I got announced.
Not only are you
I
not
couldn't
wrong,
believe it.
You're not wrong, but just looking at story and understanding that Luchasaurus is supposed to be Christian Cage's guy, but understanding what Luchasaurus, like the type of match that he can and can't do, it was still whack. It's a blank canvas. You can do so much, and it was still whack. Like
it was kind of like Edge versus Test as the main event of.
Not even that, because Test is actually nice.
No, Test is not. No, I'm not going to say.
Luchasaurus was nice, and Luchasaurus. I'm not saying that.
I'm with you.
Adam Copeland is just not it. I think you're fam. I have never been high on Adam Copeland, ever. I think a lot of people are like, yo, he's this and he's that. I get it, but I've never seen it. And I feel like I was proven right with this match. Listen, when this match started, I swapped channels over to NXT. And the only reason I went back is because I saw The Undertaker come out. But like Braun Breaker versus Mello was way more exciting than Luchasaurus versus Adam Copeland.
That's fair. That's fair. You're fair. You're fair on that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to see none of this shit.
I personally just been looking at it like if we got Adam Copeland versus Samoa Joe, and I feel like I got pushback for that. I feel like I got pushback for like the not from like any of y'all particularly, but like when I said this online, I was like, yo, I just wanted like Adam Cole versus like Samoa Joe right out the gate. Like give me
Cole
how
or
Brian
Cole?
Daniel. I said, oh, fucking Adams, man. God damn it, the weed got me. Adam Copeland, the rated R. I'm gonna just say rated R. Rated R versus Kenny Omega, or rated R versus Eddie Kingston, or just one of those matches where it's just like, this I've never seen before and I'm here for it. Luchasaurus is not the guy to do that with, because that's like what I mean by like when I said test, I was like, test is a great, Luchasaurus is great. But like on a head-to-head night with the competition, you think WWE would have put Edge in Test as the main event of Raw in 2000 versus WCW? Like Nitro with Goldberg and Bret Hart and everybody? Like that's what I mean by like that just wasn't. And I feel your point of Edge isn't that guy. But for those of us that are
that's
like,
my point is like, I don't think you Edge against whomever.
but you think
is
CM
not
Punk versus Luchasaurus would have been that much more popping?
1000%.
Damn, yo, you said that with a straight face, bro. Yeah.
Yo,
Adam Copeland just ain't it, bro.
He says CM Punk versus Luchasaurus on the competition night of Dynamite would have been a slobber knocker with JR
cool,
on
like,
commentary.
Look, the common denominator is Luchasaurus. Now, who are you more interested in, CM Punk or Adam Copeland? Duh. So get that nigga the fuck out of here. What are you talking about?
I'm tired of the CM Punk shit, yo. Like it's just getting ridiculous.
You asked the question.
I know, but he's I know, but he's done, man. He's done. We got to focus on the now. It's Adam Copeland. It's Adam. It's all.
And he's not
Adam Elite Wrestling, my dude.
Nigga.
All elite, man. Adam Elite, yo. This is where we're at right now.
Adam ain't elite.
This is where we're at right now. All right, we're gonna get these,
bro.
We're probably gonna get a big 6-man tag. You know, that's inevitable.
What I like the interaction between.
That's Dynamite.
I like that. We can write. We're about an hour and a half.
That's
shit.
Dynamite.
I like the interaction between Adam Copeland and Christian. Just entertaining. I just don't want to see an Adam Copeland match. Like, let's be very, very clear on what I do and don't like about Adam Copeland.
But
on
what
the mic, his
promos
were cool. Like, I like his promos because he understands. He's very close to a Mick Foley. Like, when Mick Foley gets on the mic, you know, like, there's going to be passion and there's going to be a story behind it. He's going to kill it.
Right.
Adam Copeland does the same thing. He's really, really good at telling a story and communicating emotion. I do not give a flying fuck about what happens between this bell and that bell when it comes to an Adam Copeland match. It's just never been all that good.
So if Adam Copeland recreates the flaming table moment from WrestleMania 26 with
whatever, like
fucking
my nigga, we talking
Darby
about like,
Allin, it's not gonna work.
That shit was cool then. We're now in an era where we see Darby Allin do Darby Allin shit every week. Who cares? Like,
you gotta appreciate the nostalgia.
We also see the after effect when Jeff Hardy tries to hit the swanton and it takes him mad long to get back to his feet. I don't want to see these niggas like really hurt themselves. You heard?
Yeah, we still got the Hardys and Edge and Christian reunion. It's just mad shit, man. This is just I can't go crazy.
So it's time to end the show. This is the Ringside Club.
It's the first
RSC
rated R match. It's the first one. I'll give him a pass. That's what I literally was thinking as I'm watching that match. I was like, I'm gonna give this a pass. I was like, I'm gonna give this a pass because it's the first one. It's the first one. I'll give it a pass, yo.
You'd be the first to talk about how you want to see Ishii or Suzuki or this person, that person. But
I want to rock with a wrestler that I've grown up with. Yes, I do.
I don't.
You grew up with Ishii, so I understand you are your allegiance to Ishii.
I didn't, and I
saying
don't.
Ayo grew up with Ishii is crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You grow up with that man. You ain't grow up with that man. That's crazy, bro.
You gonna go to AO room? You go ahead and posters of
you said
Antonio Inoki, every Japanese star.
Yo, you said AO and him were on bus 10 together, bro.
Yo, nigga, I guarantee if you run a match right now with Copeland versus Ishii, you would say Ishii had the better performance. This nigga Copeland is not it.
Yo, Chad's not watching that match. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
he's not gonna
actually
watch
would.
it.
I actually would watch that match because I'm a rated R guy. I'd watch that match.
You're
I would sit
a
through
liar,
that.
my nigga.
I would sit through that.
You're a
I would sit
liar.
through that match, and just to have the debate with you, like, yo, he stood it. He did it. He did the chops. He did it all, man. He made it happen, and then he
Yo,
speared
fam,
him, and it was over.
once they
And
cut
it was
his
over.
once
He
they cut
speared
his
him, and it
music
was
off,
over.
once they cut his music off, it's over, bro.
Yo, bro, he is gonna spear Ishii into tomorrow, and that is
Yep.
the end of that. And that'll just be the comment. It'll be like, yo, it was a cool match, man. He beat him. Dream match over. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, this has been a very drunk Friday edition
What is our outro
of
survey?
the ring. Who gives a fuck? This is the Ringside Club, RSC.
When
We
does
got a-
Nick
we got a
Aldis
survey?
debut? When does Nick
Yeah.
Aldis make his in-ring debut? Like actually wrestle
Rumble.
nationalities here.
Rumble. I think Rumble. I think there's like, what is this, October? We have a couple of months between now and the Rumble where he's gonna have a beef with whoever he's supposed to be governing over on SmackDown.
Governing over is mad fun.
Yeah.
Dominic is what it looks like.
That's good. That'd be good.
Should be interesting. Judgment Day, Nick Aldis. I'm interested. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say WrestleMania.
We
Nick
go past
Aldis.
Rumble to Mania.
Yeah,
All
we go
right.
past the Rumble to Mania.
So this dude Cartier actually had another question. We could actually answer that real quick, and I
Sure,
don't have to
go
play
for
it.
it.
But
You wanna
basically
save it or
just
not?
Asked when we see Jade Cargill and if we see her before Rumble, like before her actual like in ring.
Yeah.
We're gonna see her presented before Rumble.
Yeah.
So like actually wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes. Still 2 months till the end of the year. The ratings is gonna need it.
I don't think the ratings needed. I don't think the ratings needed. I think
Just
I
to
think,
put it over the top, I think they will.
I think Jade Cargill is only going to really affect the ratings if there's a head-to-head with AEW, and I don't think that's lined up. So other than that, why rush?
Because we've got a whole month of December to get through with really, I don't think a pay-per-view rumbles until the end of January. It's a lot. This is that period of WWE where like shit's just gonna coast.
Right, but think about it. Like nothing that WWE does or doesn't book affects their bottom line. They're way too out of here. It's like talking about like, yo, if Jay-Z puts a whack album out, who gives a fuck?
But to that point, what about Jade merch? Like they can start moving Jade merch immediately if they get her character out there.
Yo, she can sell mad shirts like NWO level. It really is a blip on the radar of WWE's bottom line. So, with that said, why rush? Like let's have you walk and meet Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Nick Aldis now that he's the guy
General
on
manager.
SmackDown, and who's Pierce on Raw. Let's have you in different situations where you're only talking or just looking like a fucking star. While we're doing that, we're drilling Monday to Friday off camera. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking 9 to 5. We're just drilling, trying to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are and get you nice in the ring. And then when it's time to fucking run the show, you ain't hitting the ropes. I just need you to stand here and look like a fucking star, like the star that you are. Rumble. I don't see her ever entering a ring to compete until Rumble. If I'm wrong, I think they're rushing.
Word. Yeah, I don't know if they need to do it, but I do think they need to keep her relevant somehow because the way that she's been in everyone's mind since she announced that she's going to WWE, or that since they announced, that she was signed to WWE, I feel like they have to keep that momentum up somehow. And if that's not in the ring, it's got to be doing something. They can only show her getting out of a Mercedes how many times, like before it's, so
Right,
we'll
but
see.
think about this is WWE. They run shit into the ground for a living.
Right.
They'll have her getting out the fucking limo from now until the Rumble.
I'm going with before the Rumble. That's my final answer.
Against who?
TBD. It's the Ringside Club.
Fuck outta
TBD.
here.
So card subject to change.
Cards subject to change. Hey man, it's the Ringside Club. Listen, before we get out of here, peace to Rich Latta, peace to Heartbreak Julio, peace to Graham from the Public Enemies podcast, peace to Bug for doing the artwork. I got a little project coming out next about a month and a half. A little Survivor Series joint, little Ringside Club joint, little PMF joint. But peace to them. I got the majority. I'm about to go to mixing on this project, so it'd be like just some fun shit. You heard? But other than that, it's the Ringside Club. It's Friday. Peace to Ron out on assignment. We'll be back next week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTube. Make sure you hit Spotify, Apple Podcasts to catch that audio. We are here live usually every Thursday, somewhere around the hour of 9 o'clock. Hit theringsideclub.com. And other than that, man, pour up for your kid. What's good with y'all?
I'm out.
Yeah, don't smoke hash and drive. Bye.
We out of here.